that consistency matters. And so he'll have blog posts, emails, even talks that he does that go viral. How they go viral? Because he keeps showing up. Hi, my name is Damon Brown of DamonBrown.net. My main thing is to help you as a side hustler, a solopreneur, or otherwise a non-traditional entrepreneur. Today we're going to talk about how you can get a following and maybe even go viral. I've gone viral a few times, luckily in a good way. And I'd love to give some tips and tricks for that. It's not a guarantee, but there's some insight from me and from other people that I respect that might help you increase those chances and those odds of going faster and further than you ever expected. If you like content like this, be sure and support the channel. I'm coming to you, Bring Your Worst show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Vegas time. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Also like and share with other people. Throw a comment if you got a question, but share with other people because we can always get there better together. All right, let's get into it. There's so many people that talk about going viral, and oftentimes there is no magic formula to it. But I'm originally from Atlantic City, I live in Las Vegas, I understand gambling. Sometimes you can't guarantee that you're gonna get a royal flush, but there's ways that you can increase the odds. This is the same thing with building a following and going viral. And in fact, I wouldn't even worry about going viral as much as building a following. As I talked about in the Kevin Kelly video, ooh, it's a tongue twister. Kevin Kelly video with 1,000 true fans. I'll throw the link up where you only need 1,000 true fans. We're gonna pay you $100 a year to make $100,000. Great theory, please watch the whole video. I have 2 videos about that, please watch those. You don't necessarily need to go viral to make a good living at whatever you're trying to do, whether that's a side hustle or doing a startup, whatever. We had 250,000 people that joined our startup Cuddler, and that was enough for us to make an impact and eventually get our app acquired. We didn't need 1 million users. There's 3 things that I recommend as far as building a following and maybe in the future going viral. The first one is to talk to one person. Talk to one person. I talked about this in the Kevin Kelly video. I talked about this in a few other videos, but it's so important to emphasize this. Seth Godin calls this the minimal viable audience. I call this talking to one person. With this YouTube channel, I am talking to you, just you. Now the subscribers are going up. I'm talking to thousands of people at this point, tens of thousands, so thank you for your support. But I'm always just talking to you. That's it. So my content, my discussion, my argument, my facial expressions, my dress, the subjects of each of these, the topics of each of these subjects, the subjects and topics of each of these videos is all addressing you, just you. I did a keynote last year, a virtual one because we were sheltering in place, and I talked to between 1,000 and 2,000 people. Let's say 1,000 people. I was talking to one person. Might have been 1,000 people there. I was talking to one. That's how you make an impact. That's how you build a following. Your following isn't based on saying, I'm going to talk to the 7.5 billion people that are currently alive on this earth. Or I'm going to talk to the, I don't know, 500 million people that are on Twitter right now. No. I'm going to talk to one person. When you talk to one person, there's a level of authenticity, there's a level of honesty, and there's a level of consistency, of focus. We'll get into that in a second even more. With that consistency and focus, that authenticity, that honesty, people pick up on that. Remember, like with a YouTube channel, with my best-selling books, again, the most recent one, Built From Now, got my upcoming book, which hopefully will be a bestseller, Career Remix. You're only tapping one person at a time. Now, in a meta way, multiple people are reading it, but once someone gets a copy of this book, there's only one copy, they're gonna sit there and read it. You're not gonna be addressing 5 million people. The stuff that goes viral, and there's a long list of them. And I've had best-selling books, which in some ways is an old school way of going viral. Again, I have my startup called Cuddler, which we ended up selling it. Again, we had 250,000 users, and we sold it at a profit when it got acquired. But we are focused on the individual people. And if you focus on the individual people, then your stuff won't be watered down. We used to call the TV shows the idiot box. I never used that term, but it was really popular when I was a kid, way back in the day. And now it's because there was only 3 channels, CBS, NBC, and ABC. There's so many channels I actually forgot. And then it was PBS, which is what my family messed with. But it was ABC, CBS, and NBC. Everyone just had that. So those 3 channels had to appeal to everyone in America, and they also had some overseas stuff. What kind of programming do you think they have? It was watered down because they're trying to appeal to everybody. Now in this age, we're just spoiled. We have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, YouTube, Meta within a Meta, box within a box, right? We're going Inception now because we're talking about what's happening right now. I'm able to do this programming for you because thankfully YouTube and other channels exist. But this would never be on NBC because NBC is trying to appeal to 100 million people at the time, back in the 70s and 80s. I'm not trying to appeal to 100 million people. That's why the subscribers are going up. That's why you're watching. That's why this energy ideally is pure. That's why I can be passionate and say shit half the time. It's because I'm appealing to you, not everybody. That allows you to build a following. If you're mustard or ketchup, how are you gonna shine like sriracha? Number 2 is being consistent. Be consistent in whatever impact you're trying to make on the world. I've done 8 books in the last 5.5 years. My new book called Career Remix is coming out. It's coming out January 11th, 2022. So be sure to pre-order at mycareerremix.com. The 8 books that I've done over the last 5.5 years, again, the latest being built from now, they all have a consistent theme. That theme ended up being energy I put into this show. So when you get a book from Damon Brown, you know what the discussion is going to be. It's not going to be that much different than the discussion right now that we're having. When you come to my coaching practice, my private coaching practice at damonbrown.net, and you hire me as a coach, same energy. That consistency allows that opportunity to bring a following and to go viral. I've done 4 TED Talks. A couple of them have gotten serious numbers. I'll be sure and put the link up here. I'll be sure to put the link up here. You can check out all my TED Talks for free, again, at youtube.com/BrownDamon. A couple of them have gotten really good numbers, at least numbers for my stature, well into the 5 figures as far as amount of views. That's because those TED Talks have similar discussions, the consistency that I bring to you on this YouTube channel, that I bring to you in the books, that I bring to you in my coaching practice at damonbrown.net. It's all the same energy. Not necessarily authenticity, but more like the same energy. That consistency matters. People know what they're gonna get with a Damon Brown book. Again, with Seth Godin, one of my mentors, and obviously someone I respect, over at akimbo.com, he sends an email every single day with a short message from 100 words to 500 words to, I'm guessing, 100,000 people that subscribe to his email list. He mentioned it before. I think it's even higher than that. It's probably 250,000. He's done that every single day. I think he said for 20 years. 20 years ago, I was in grad school. I'm a long way from grad school. So consistent, but he keeps showing up. Bit by bit, as he says, drip by drip. Be sure and check out the video that I have about his philosophy on quitting. It's really pertinent, particularly as we go through the great resignation right now. But I digress. That consistency matters. And so he'll have blog posts, emails, even talks that he does that go viral. How they go viral? Because he keeps showing up. So being consistent. I'm with y'all every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have a newsletter at joindamon.me. Y'all get it every Wednesday at 5:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Y'all have been getting it every Wednesday for 5 years now, since I got serious about the Bite as Entrepreneur several years ago. That's consistency. And that increases opportunity for me to have best-selling books. That increases opportunity for me to have a strong YouTube showing. It increases opportunity for me to get good keynote gigs and for y'all to come through my website and hire me as a coach. It's all related. If you want success, it's consistency. The virality of it is a natural byproduct of you showing up regularly. Lastly, if you want following and want to go viral, number 3, you have to plan ahead. Have some type of strategy. You have to plan far enough ahead so you have some type of strategy, but not so far that you become rigid. I struggle with this all the time, so I'm speaking from experience. These bags under my eyes, or from thinking about the future and planning too far ahead. I tend to think 6 months to 5 years in advance. I know other people that think 1 week to 6 months in advance. It depends on how you're wired, your culture, all that other stuff. I'm sure there's some science behind it that I do not know. But my point is to have a certain strategy as far as what you're going to do. Before I started this YouTube channel, I said I'm going to show up regularly for the folks through YouTube, because there's so many people that only get their information or only discuss things through YouTube, that don't read my column at inkdamonbrown.com, that don't read the books. A lot of you are into audio. Me doing this YouTube channel, I said, I want to connect with more people, and I have the consistency to do it once a day. After about 3 months of that, I realized that once a day was way too intense for me. So now we're at Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this fits really well. Even during this previous summer, I've been taking Wednesdays off and doing, because I usually have a live show on Wednesday. I've not been doing the live show because I've been traveling. I went to the TED conference where I talked about the popular Adam Grant TED Talk. Be sure and check out that video because a lot of y'all have been liking that. Talked about my experiences at TED. I, took a vacation with my family, all these different things. I spoke at the Hippo Camp conference, which another link that I threw up here. So like me doing that, I shifted it. So it's like Wednesdays have been off. So it's like Monday, Friday, and then a couple bonus episodes I've been doing. I'll be getting back into the live soon. I know what I can handle. That's the strategy. If you are not sure about what your actual strategy is, what you can handle as far as your resources, I have a quiz at buildfromnowquiz.com that talks about resources. It's a free quiz. I talked about it quite a bit in the earlier episodes. Be sure and take it if you haven't already. It's free. Again, it takes 2 minutes. If you're not sure what your resources are, if you're not sure what your end game is, if you don't have a strategy and you're like, I'm just gonna do a bunch of all-nighters, I'm gonna do a bunch of videos on TikTok, whatever, I'm gonna do all this and see how I go viral. That's not a plan. And it's easier for you to get, again, burnt out or frustrated. One of the two. And your chance of quitting before you actually have a breakthrough are a lot higher. So have some type of strategy as far as what you're gonna do. Know what you're capable of, what resources you got, contribute as much as you can. If you're enjoying this insight, be sure to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as you just heard, at the Bring Your Worst show, 10 o'clock. I don't know whose show is at 10 o'clock. Somebody else's show. 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Vegas time. Be sure and subscribe if you want to not miss an episode. I think we might be at our 150th episode. I keep saying this on the videos. We're gonna hit one of them, and you're gonna be lucky if you're watching it. But 150 episodes in the last handful of months, so I so appreciate y'all's support. Be sure and check out the free playlist. And again, my new book, Career Remix, is coming out January 11th, 2022. If you want some guidance as far as the next level of your career, be sure and pre-order that. You can get it at mycareerremix.com. Until next time, remember that you can always bring your worth, and you can always build from now. Take care.